Once this exodus begins, the events that brought you to this moment will never have taken place.
Oh, yeah.
And you will have created a paradox.
Ah.
What will become of you is difficult to predict, but that is the risk you have taken by interfering in the natural flow of time.
All right.
Now, are you ready?
I'm guessing I don't really have much choice, but yeah, let's do what I always do. Jump in the hole, feet first. I'm ready.
Farewell, mortal.
All right. Okay, he wasn't. Wait, what? Someone whispered something. Whisper again. That was a male voice. Ah, okay. Talk to Al. Is that Al? Okay, so Al does not have a kick-ass beard yet. All right.
Oh. Hi there. Gave me a bit of a fright. Thought I was in here alone. I'm Al.
Al Worth, I came in here to find you.
Well, here I am. I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name.
I'm Gordon, and I was hoping you'd know who I am. No, okay, I'm just... Why would he know who I am? I'm Gordon.
Oh, did that lady in the forest send you in here after me?
Yes.
I guess I lost track of time, learning about the history of this place, and it is extraordinary. I'm fairly certain you and I are the first people to set foot in this city for about 2,000 years. Fortunately for us, the last person in here was a Roman man named Galerius, who inscribed an account into a tablet. Apparently, there was a community of 20-something people trapped in here, and living in fear of a curse they called the Golden Rule. They believed that if even one person sinned, an unknown god would cast them all into gold, like the 1,000 people who'd lived here before them. Then, one day, just as Galerius had finished praying for a good harvest at the shrine of Prasapana, an oracle appeared and told him how to solve the ills of the city, like saving the life of a dying woman, preventing the suicide of a man in debt bondage, freeing a falsely accused prisoner, foiling an assassination attempt, and so on. Meanwhile, the oracle walked up to the temple of the mysterious god, this one right here, and demanded an audience. And the doors just opened up to him. Nobody knows what went on in there, but Galerius wrote the oracle must have been more persuasive than Odysseus, because the next thing he knew, the ground shook and the voice of that god rang out over the city. The many have suffered long enough. Unfortunately, Galerius' account just sort of stops after that, leaving a lot of questions unanswered. What became of him and the other people who lived here? What happened to all the golden statues? And did this mysterious oracle single-handedly undo the curse that had terrorized people for hundreds of years?
Actually, that was me. Okay, sounds a bit far-fetched. These Romans are great. Just a little side of me wants to... Okay, jumping into the hole. Feet first. Yeah, that was me.
What? Oh, I see. For a moment there, I thought you were serious. Anyway, I think I found a way out to the aqueduct that brought water into the city. Follow me.
Oh, wait, what? You found a way out. Excellent. Yes, right behind you. Right behind you, I think. Whoa. Oh, is this where that cistern would have brought us out? There was a gate in the cistern. Probably. Okay. So, morning has arrived. Al?
I'm going to pause here for a moment and make sure nobody else has ever lured into this temple.
Good idea.
You go on ahead. I'll be there soon.
Right. I'm going to go out and speak to Karen? It looks a lot nicer in the bright sunlight. It was dark when I came here, wasn't it? I feel like it was. I feel like it was dark and creepy. Could be my imagination. No, it was, because I needed the flashlight. I remember I needed the flashlight. So, let's go and speak to Karen. Are we going to have an honest
You're back! But
discussion
you're alone.
now?
Does that mean you didn't find Al?
I found him. He'll be here in a moment.
Ah, what a relief. Thank you so much. I was beginning to think you'd both become trapped in there. Why don't you tell me what you discovered while we wait?
I discovered the ruins of an ancient underground city. I discovered that you're not who you say you were. I remember meeting you 2,000 years ago. Yeah.
Ah, I see. I thought you might.
Right.
Well, now you know. I suppose you have questions.
Yes, I do. Who are you really? She's deaf.
You can just
So to
call me
speak.
Charon, if you like. I am sorry I was not completely honest with you when we first met. I do not enjoy deceiving people. Believe me, I do not. But I have learned, from 5,000 years of experience, that most people find comfort in familiarity, in gradual change, and coming to see the truth in their own time.
True, but yeah, what truth is that?
That you died, of course.
Yeah.
You were dead when I brought you here. My role, as the servant of the god of the underworld, has always been to assist the chosen to cross the threshold from the land of the living to the land of the dead.
Wait. There is an actual land of the dead? Is that like... I mean, are you saying that even though you're super powerful beings with technology that makes you seem like gods, there is actually a supernatural afterlife? It isn't just you bringing us back to life? You're sending mixed messages here. Alright, let's go with, how did I die?
Usually, when people do not remember how they died, it is because they suffered a terrible trauma.
Right.
Most souls would rather not remember.
Souls?
Ask yourself honestly, do you really want to know?
Yes. Yes, I want to know.
As you wish. You were murdered.
Okay.
You were exploring an old tomb when you discovered a cache of forgotten relics, including 2 silver coins of ancient origin. Unfortunately, as you emerged into daylight, you were set upon by 2 thieves. A nearby hiker saw the scuffle break out and leapt to your aid, trying to help you recover your bounty. You both fought bravely, but your assailants were armed, and
Ow!
you were not. There was nothing you or your ally could have done. He died instantly at the scene, and you followed a few hours later.
It was Al.
That man's name was Al Worth.
Right.
You were each in possession of a sacred coin, called Charon's Opal by some. And so it was my duty to bring you here.
Pluto said the coins Al and I had were the last in existence. What does that mean for you? Your job done?
It means I am now bereft of purpose. There is nobody else to ferry here. Nobody to keep you company. After 5,000 years, the underworld has finally run its course.
Okay. What's so special about these coins?
Perhaps you have heard the tales of the Greeks and Romans burying their dead with a coin in their mouths to pay the ferryman for passage across the river.
Right.
Well, those stories contained a seed of
Okay.
truth, but
I actually know
not any
this.
coin would do.
The god explained it, the
A
god.
long time ago,
Pluto.
my master created 1,000 silver coins and had me distribute them across the world. My orders were simple. Whenever a person died in possession of a coin, I was to locate them and ferry them here.
Yeah, Pluto mentioned that my coin was the last in existence. What does that mean for you? Yeah,
it means
bereft of purpose.
I
Got
am
it.
now bereft of purpose.
Yeah.
There is nobody else to ferry here. Nobody to keep you company. After 5,000 years, the underworld has finally run its course.
Well, what about everyone else? I mean, surely aren't the people still down there? I mean, if we just jump down the damned hole, me and Al, wouldn't we get back to the city and be able to at least hang out with Galerius? Or do they move on? Do they die of old age in the after? This is very confusing. Can you return us to the land of the living? Is that a possibility?
I see no point in keeping you here. But I have to ask one thing. That you keep this to yourself.
Look! Here comes Al now.
Oh.
Al! It's so good to see you.
Don't tell Al, is what you're saying.
You were gone so long I thought I'd never see you again.
Kinda lost track of time in there. You wouldn't believe what we found. The ruins of a long-forgotten city. And there was a tablet describing an oracle who confronted a god and undid an ancient curse.
Sounds like quite a story. And I look forward to hearing all about it. But you two look exhausted. Why don't you hop in my boat and rest while I ferry you back to civilization?
Sounds good to me.
And you? Are you ready to go home?
Sure, Karen. Take us home. I don't suppose you could tell us what happened to everyone? One year later. Is this a museum? Is this a museum? Will I be able to find out?
Hey, you made it. It's great to see you again. I read your book, and what the critics said about it. I guess they weren't ready for your theories about the underworld. Anyway,
I wrote a book about the underworld.
I thought you might appreciate some good news.
Am I insane?
So after we got back to the real world, I started doing some research into the people mentioned in Galerius' tablet. And I found something strange.
So Al knows.
Okay. Sorry I've been so cryptic. I've been dying to tell you. I just really wanted you to see this for yourself.
Okay.
Why don't you head on down there? I'll catch up with you at the other end.
I thought when Karen said keep this to yourself, she meant don't tell Al, but it seems like Al knows. All right. Okay. Wait.
You're finally here. Remember me?
Yeah. I'm dead, aren't I? I'm dead. What are you doing here?
It's a crazy story. After you disappeared, Karen appeared and told us she was returning us to the world. Even gave us some coins to help us start our lives over. Only, for some reason, she returned us to your world instead of ours. Anyway, I know we only ever had that one conversation, and I wasn't even sure if you'd remember me, but I wanted to say thanks for freeing us from the underworld and giving us a second chance at life.
Okay. Yes, a second chance at life. A life with Netflix, for example. You're going to love that. You've been here a year. You've probably been doing a lot of... What are you doing with yourself these days? You're with... Are you? Wait. Okay. What are you doing with yourself these days?
Oh, I used Karen's gift to buy a farm in Umbria. Got a villa on it too, with enough room for Dooley, of course.
Dooley?
It's hard work, but I sleep soundly every night. I'm finally my own man, and I wouldn't change it for the world.
Okay. And you're with Equitia now?
I know. I can't believe my luck either. But we're engaged and living together.
All
We're
right.
planning to get married next spring. If you're going to be around, we'd love to see you there.
Sure. Count me in. Definitely. Anyway, yeah, no, it was good seeing you again.
Of course. There's a whole museum full of people waiting for a chance to thank you. So you better keep
Everyone's
moving.
here?
We'll speak again soon, my friend.
Everyone's here. Equitia.
you're here. It's lovely to finally meet you.
Love the outfit.
Galerius told me all about you.
Well, did we not speak on that last day? Oh God, of course, we didn't speak. I barely spoke to Galerius either. Yeah. I didn't ever imagine I'd be meeting you guys, otherwise I would have said hi, and no, it's good to see you too.
So, you're the hero who somehow vanquished the last of the Roman gods. As I'm a priestess, you realize you've put me out of work. I'm just teasing. Actually, and it still feels a little sacrilegious to say this, I'm finding life after religion quite enjoyable.
Okay. What are you doing with yourself there? How's Livia? Yes.
Oh, it's sweet of you to ask. She recovered nicely. In fact, she's here somewhere, if you'd like to ask her yourself.
I will. I did speak to her, so hopefully she'll remember that. I will do that. What are you doing with yourself apart from getting married?
Galerius and I are engaged and expecting. We've just bought a lovely villa in the countryside with room for a large family, and Dooley too, of course. It feels like the world has just opened up for us. There's so much to learn, and so many more possibilities for our children than we ever imagined. We're just so thankful for what you did for us. For all of us.
Okay, well, it was good seeing you.
See you at the wedding, I hope.
Oh, did they bring everyone? What about Centilla? Probably owe her an apology. She won't remember.
Oh, hello.
Hi! We didn't speak, but we did.
Hello. I'm Dooley.
Yeah, I remember you, Dooley.
Galerius said you're very nice and a big helper. Thank you for getting us out of the bad place. I didn't like it.
Yeah. And what are you doing with yourself these days?
I live at Galerius and Equitia's house. They look after me now and help me remember when I forget things, like brushing my teeth.
Right. Sorry you never found your treasure.
Treasure? Oh, I forgot about that. I like my box now. Galerius got me a box that tells stories. It's my favourite thing.
Oh, story boxes are great. Yes, it's a mobile phone. I'm glad. You know what? I'm glad you're happy. It was good to see you again, Dooley.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. Got a box. That is okay. So, right. Horatius! Join the army, I see.
I'm Horatius.
Yeah! Didn't speak to you on that last day. Right, now I'm really wishing I'd run around and just chatted with everyone.
I understand we have you to thank for giving us a second chance at life. And reuniting Centilla with us as well.
Oh! So she was returned as well?
Thank you.
What are you doing with yourself these days? He never got to see his girl. Oh yeah, the one that was... yeah. What are you doing with yourself these days?
I'm living up north and studying in the military academy in Modena. I'm going to be an officer one day. The world's changed a lot. But some things stay the same. Would you believe we're still studying military tactics from my time? Alexander the Great, Caesar, Hannibal Barca. Still, I have to keep challenging myself to let go of old ways of thinking and embrace the new. As Seneca wrote, the ones who pioneered our paths aren't our masters, but our guides.
Good man. Sorry you're not going to see that girl again.
Ah, you remembered that. Thank you. I grieved for a time, but that's done. In the words of Epictetus, as those who rode behind triumphant generals remind them they are mortal, remind yourself your precious one isn't one of your possessions, but something given for now, not forever.
Well said.
Thanks.
You know, you'll probably make a good teacher. It's good seeing you again, Horatius.
And you. Farewell.
Okay, and this...
Hey.
You're the sister. you're little Miss Snark.
I take it you're the Oracle. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, good to see you again. You probably don't remember me because we didn't speak on that last cycle.
Actually, I changed my name to Cynthia. I didn't want to be associated with Sentius after what happened. I'm not sure if you heard, but after you drove Pluto off, Prasapana emerged from the Great Temple. She knew right away what none of us had figured out about that psychopath. He'd been keeping my little sister locked up in the upper cistern all that time. But he's been dealt with. He's... you know what? The important thing is, we'll never see him again.
Right. So, I do want to know, though. What happened to him? I gotta know.
He's still there, all alone. The last golden statue in the underworld. Trapped in a metal shell, slowly losing his mind until the end of time. Eternal torment. Just what he deserves, if you ask me.
Look, 100 years of torment, maybe. 200 years of torment, maybe. Eternity. It's a tad excessive. Eternal punishment should be left for eternal crimes, and there's no such thing, so... tad excessive.
Meh, I try not to think about him at all.
It's not necessarily the worst outlook. What are you doing with yourself these days?
Anything I want. I'm a woman of means in a vast new world. I can go wherever and do whatever I please. Of course, I mostly just stay in my villa and have my servant Alexa summon things for me. Because it's just awful out there. Barbarians everywhere.
Yep, nothing changes. Alright, it was good to see you again, Cynthia.
You too. See you around.
Okay. Yeah. Right. Yulia!
You're the Oracle, right?
Gordon works.
Oh, of course, sorry. And I never got a chance to thank you for telling Galerius how to save my life. And of course, getting me and all of us out of a terrible situation.
Okay, well, I did tell him how to save your life in one of the cycles, but not the last one. Maybe I mentioned it. I probably did. While I was... You know what? You know what happened? I sent him off to round everyone up just in case, and then I went on and did all these little tasks, and I went and told him what I was doing just on the off chance that you had a relapse. That's what happened. I gave him the full details, so he's passed them on to you. That's what's happening here. What are you doing with yourself these days?
Oh, I barely recognize myself. I'm living in a house share in London with my wonderful girlfriend. And I'm studying English at university. Eventually, I want to travel the world and write about it. Turns out, it's about 30 times bigger than the Roman Empire ever was.
Yeah.
Did you know there are entire continents Rome never knew existed? And you can travel almost anywhere in an aircraft, which is rather like flying on a Pegasus, but much more comfortable. Oh, sorry, you already know all that, of course.
You have not
so
flown on a Pegasus.
There's so much to see and learn and write about.
You have not flown on a Pegasus. That does make me think, you guys all had to learn English because we're back to speaking English again. Okay, seeing the world through fresh eyes sounds wonderful. It does, actually.
I have noticed people from your time have no idea how fortunate they are.
Oh,
I hope to change that. One day.
Yeah, no, I say the same thing all the time. We're some of the luckiest human beings that have ever existed. We have a lifestyle, we have luxury unknown to 99.999% of humans that have ever existed. And boy, will we still whine and complain a lot. Whatever happened to Malleolus and Claudia? Yeah, good question.
Last I heard, Malleolus kept insisting he was the last rightful ruler of the Roman Empire, and wound up being committed to a psychiatric hospital.
Awesome.
As for Claudia, she was always so viciously unhappy. Someone said she'd blown all her money on wine, trying to drink herself back to the underworld. After the horrific way they treated Ulpius and me, I can't help feeling a sense of... what's that German word? Schadenfreude?
Yes. I think you're allowed to... Sounds like they got... You're allowed to feel that way. I believe you are. That definitely feels appropriate.
Thank you. You're very kind.
Okay. And what happened to Aurelia? Yeah. Am I not going to meet her here? That's a shame. I was so looking forward to trying to seduce her again. And failing.
Ugh. Someone told me she was boasting about getting her claws into some rich prince.
Oh.
And how she was going to be living the high life from now on. Even in your time, life still isn't fair. Apparently, he'd proposed before they'd even met. And last I heard, she'd bought herself a first-class one-way ticket to join him in some exotic place called... what was it? Nigeria? Some people have all the luck.
Oh, don't worry, something tells me she's going to get what she deserves. As the Oracle, I foresee terrible disappointment in her future.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I feel better already. Thank you.
As do I. Good to see you again, Yulia.
You too. If you're ever in London, let me know. We can go to bars and drink wine and listen to the stories of the 9 million people who live there.
I will definitely take you up on that.
I hope so.
Long time no see.
Oh, yeah. Now, we did speak. Hey, Lucretia.
Lucy is fine.
Lucy.
I'm making an effort to blend in, as you can see. We are all trying to keep a low profile. If the world knew we died 2,000 years ago and were suddenly brought back to life 12 months ago, they'd never leave us alone. Speaking of which, I wanted to say thank you in person. I'd say the gods smile on you, but I hear you drove the last of them off. So...
I wouldn't say drove him off. Convinced him to go away. Oh, I'm guessing Prasapana just died. What are you doing with yourself, anyway?
I'm studying to get into medical school. As much as I resented the responsibility of keeping everyone in the city alive, when it ended, I realized I missed it. So I guess I'll just keep saving the world, if begrudgingly, one patient at a time.
Good attitude. Good to see you again, Lucy.
You too. Don't be a stranger.
Oh, they don't get much stranger than me. And that is actually... massively... Trey! The Hermit Philosopher! I don't suppose you'll tell me your name now, will you?
I take it you're the Oracle everybody's talking about. It's a pleasure to finally meet you.
Again, we didn't speak. We met before, though I wouldn't expect you to remember it. Yeah.
We have? I'm sorry, I don't remember. In any case, I'm Philip. I never thought I'd leave that cave, let alone the city. And now I'm living in the 21st century.
Philip.
What a time to be alive. And it seems I have your catabasis to thank for it.
What are you doing with yourself these days?
I'm working as a consultant to the Faculty of Classics at Cambridge University, helping fill the odd gap in their knowledge. Not that I need the money, but I do love being around enlightened minds again.
Right. Okay, well, it was good to see you again, Philip.
My sincere thanks once again.
I do wonder who you really are.
Hello.
Okay, well, no. Fabia said hello first.
You're here. It's so good to see you.
All right, yeah, you remember. We spoke.
I wanted to say thanks for stopping me from going into that shrine. I still think about that all the time. And for getting us out of there.
You're welcome.
I'm just so happy to be here. With you and everyone. Together again. Even if it's just for one more night.
Yeah, me too, actually. What are you doing with yourself?
Well, it's not like I have to work with all the silver Charon gave me, so I just do what makes me happy. Mostly that means baking for my friends and looking at memes while binging TV shows in yoga pants. What a time to be alive.
Right. You see, you guys may be some of the only human beings alive capable of truly understanding how lucky we are. I'm glad you're happy. Sounds like a life well spent.
Oh, it really is.
Good to see you, Fabia.
You too.
Georgius!
Greetings. You must be the legendary Oracle.
Yeah.
It is a sincere privilege to finally make your acquaintance.
I am Georgius.
Georgius. Yeah, we didn't speak on that last day.
I am told we have you to thank for freeing us from Hades.
Am I going to meet
for that,
Decius?
I am most grateful.
What are you doing with yourself?
I am reacquainting myself with Greece. It has changed so much over the last 2,000 years, I barely recognize it. This is at once heartbreaking and thrilling.
Right.
Perhaps one day, once I have seen all of this new Greece and sampled her delights, I will settle down in Santorini in a villa overlooking the azure Aegean Sea. I hope you will join me there and regale me with the story of how you faced off against the fearsome god of the underworld and won.
I can definitely do that. Consider me there. Good to see you again.
You too, my friend.
I'm guessing you had to learn English and Greek. I'll be with you ladies in a second. I'm just bursting to say hi.
Soiree, innit?
Decius!
We meet again, old friend.
Old friend is probably a... Okay. Hi.
Listen, I wanted to express my sincere appreciation for what you did. If it wasn't for you, I'd never been able to sell all those useless old relics I accumulated. Whatever you did in that temple made me a very wealthy man. Thank you.
No need to thank me. It was entirely unintended.
Such acerbic wit. I love it.
It's weird. He's suddenly growing on me. What are you doing with yourself?
I took the money I made from selling my trinkets and started investing in the stock market. That's where the real money is now. In fact, I was hoping to ask your advice, you being the Oracle and Future Seer and all that, on which stocks I should invest in next. I can't decide between fossil fuels, tobacco, gambling and arms. What would you recommend?
Wouldn't help you even if I could, mate.
Oh, don't be like that. You can tell your old pal Decius. I won't take no for an answer.
DVD rentals have a bright future. Broadcast television is going to be the next big thing. Print media is going to make a huge comeback. Totally. Everyone's into reading.
Oh, of course, yeah. I was just thinking the same thing. I'll go home and buy up as much stock as I can tonight. I'm going to make a bloody fortune.
I'm going to be going now.
Of course. Don't let me keep you. Thanks again for the tips, my friend.
Yeah, no, anytime. Anytime. What?
Good evening.
An idiot. Okay. Livia.
We meet again.
We do. You're looking good.
Thank you for your kind words and for liberating us all. In all the time I was in the underworld, I never once imagined that I might end up in a place so much like Elysium.
You think this place is like that? Okay. What are you doing with yourself?
I'm recovering. Octavia was kind enough to let me stay with her for a while. At least until I'm well enough to be independent again. She still talks wistfully of you.
Octavia, did we speak? Oh, we did! Because I had to save Ulpius myself. I chatted with her. It was brief, but... Okay. Read any good poems?
Ah, you remember that?
Yeah.
I'm a little tired of Ovid, but that's all right. I have 2,000 years worth of poetry to catch up on now. I'm already up to the 19th century, and am quite enjoying the work of a fellow named Poe. I think I may have found a kindred spirit. Men have called me mad, but the question is not yet settled whether madness is or is not the loftiest intelligence.
Well said, Patrick. No, well said. Yeah. It was good to see you again, Livia.
And you. Farewell, friend.
Octavia!
You're here. It's so lovely to see you again.
Oh, and you get to be a Christian without being fed to the lions. That's pretty nice as well, isn't it? Good to see you, Octavia.
I'm thankful that you're here. I was sure the person who drove off the last pagan god would have more important things to do than visit the likes of us. But thank you for coming and for saving our lives. What you did was extraordinary, and I'll never forget it.
So what are you doing with yourself?
I'm living in Rome again, in a charming little flat by the Tiber. Not far from my old place. Oh, and I'm training to be a crisis counselor. Watching you persuade Ulpius not to take his own life inspired me. I just want to spend the rest of my life helping people, like you helped him.
Okay. Sounds like a noble cause. Good on you.
Thank you. That means a lot.
Good to see you again.
And you. Oh, and I hope this isn't too forward, but some of us are going out for a drink after this, if you'd like to join us.
Yep. Sounds good. I'm in.
Wonderful. I'll see you soon.
Got a lot of dates going on here, but I'm in for all of them. And this... Kabash!
It is an honor to finally meet you.
Right. Thanks, Kabash. It's not really the first time we met.
You know my name? Oh, of course. You are an oracle. You know many things. I too would like to offer my thanks for releasing us from that place and for your role in bringing us here. This world is truly wondrous.
What are you doing with yourself these days?
For a time, I returned to Alexandria, but they have no need of another fisherman, and I came to see there is nothing for me there. Instead, I have decided to follow the custom of your youths and backpack the world. It is a great adventure.
Good man.
And I have met many people from many cultures. I spent the first 25 years of my life avoiding the 42 sins that would deny me access to the afterlife. Now, I think it is time I had some fun.
Oh, definitely. In fact, in a way, you might want to break a few of them just to avoid going to the afterlife. Yeah, you've earned it.
Indeed.
Good to see you again.
Thank you, Oracle.
Glad you don't have your bow this time. All right. Virgil and Rufius. Yes.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too, Rufius.
I go by Rufus now.
Rufus.
New start, new name. Oh, and thanks, by the way,
for
showing me how to treat my rheumatism. I probably would have lost my mind if it wasn't for that willow bark. Although I think your people have a different name for it. Aspirin, I believe. Thank you. Really. Sorry, I'm no good with the mushy stuff.
No, what are you doing with yourself these days?
I live with Virgil in Rotterdam, not far from where he grew up. It's very modern. Destroyed in the war, and it rebuilt itself. Good place for a fresh start. Haven't decided what I'm going to do with my life yet. One adjustment at a time.
Well, no, you know, that's a good attitude. That is a good... You've seemed more at peace with yourself. And you know what? That's probably, like, the biggest step. It turns out you were right, by the way. The statues really were watching us.
Huh. Good to know. Anyway, it was good practice for the new world. Security cameras and smartphones everywhere.
It's true, isn't it?
Got to stay vigilant.
This is unfortunately true. Anyway, good to see you.
You too. Look us up next time you're in the Netherlands. We're grateful.
Definitely, definitely. Virgil! Did we speak on that last cycle?
It's so nice to finally meet you. I've heard so much about you.
Damn, I really wish I had. I wish I'd gone around and spent more time just saying hi to everyone. Oh, I didn't know it was going to be the last cycle. Really honestly thought I was going to screw it up. Okay, I'm blanking out here and you're thinking, when's he going to say something? Yeah, good to see you, Virgil.
I wanted to thank you personally for getting us out of there. And for helping Rufus come to terms with himself. He may come off a little gruff, but once you get past that, he's a lovely fellow.
Yeah. So what are you doing with yourself?
I'm studying to be an architect again.
That's right,
and
you
living with
fixed
Rufus
things.
in our beautiful flat in Rotterdam. Just down the river from Nijmegen, where I grew up. Of course, it's improved immensely since I was there last. Gleaming futuristic buildings and clean streets full of educated, accepting people. You natives of the 21st century have no idea how fortunate you are.
Some of us do. Although, again, probably not as much as you guys do. Good to see you again, Virgil.
As Rufus said in his own laconic way, if you're ever in the Netherlands, we'd love to show you around. It's the least we could do.
I may just take you up on that. Right. Oh, and you two got to get Ulpius.
Good to see you under better circumstances than last time.
Good to see you too.
I wanted to thank you for saving my life and getting us all out of there. The way you just showed up out of the blue and stopped me from making a terrible mistake, I'll be forever in your debt.
So what are you doing with yourself?
I'm living with Gabriella in Umbria.
Gabriella?
We finally bought the little vineyard we always dreamed of. It'll be a little while before we know what we're doing, but every day I look at her and this extraordinary new world with all its beauty, and I think, what if I'd given up hope and missed out on all of this? So we're living each day to the fullest. And we end them all the same way, sitting together on our terrace with a glass of our wine, which the locals say is almost drinkable now, and watching the sunset over the rolling hillside. And I couldn't be happier.
Glad you're happy. Good man.
Thank you. I wouldn't be here without you.
Yeah. Well, good to see you again.
You too.
So, now we didn't speak in your cycle.
Hello there.
But I still feel pretty bad about leaving you. Hi.
Oh, I go by Gabriella now. I didn't want to be reminded of that monster every time I heard my own name. After you drove Pluto off, Prasapana came and released me, and that monster got what was coming to him.
I am really... Yeah, I'm sorry I had no idea. Well, I kind of did. I'm just not going to tell you about it. Just... Yeah. Sounds like he got what he deserved. Yeah, opinions vary, but... I mean, he definitely deserved some fairly serious punishment.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing with yourself these days?
I'm living with Ulpius on a little vineyard in Umbria. It's even more wonderful than I dreamed it would be. I'm so grateful to you for making sure he's still with us. If you're ever passing through the region, I hope you'll come and visit us. You can try some of our very own wine.
I might just do that, yes. Even though apparently it's awful. It's good to see you again.
Thanks.
Well,
you too.
Yeah, she does not need to know that I left her hanging there so that I could revisit another day. I mean, I did the right thing, if you think about it. I suspect none of this would have happened had I not. But it was still a fairly harsh thing to do, and I'm not totally sure anyone could accept it. Nor am I sure I would blame them for not hating me forever. So let's just let that one heal over.
There you are. I hope you enjoyed that. Now, there's one more person I wanted to introduce you to. I think you know her.
Is it Karen? No? No?
Sorry if I frightened you. Just a little joke I've been saving for a long, long time.
I recognize that voice, but how can that... Oh! Did Karen bring you here as well? I recognize that voice, yes.
Allow me to introduce myself properly. I am Prasapana, former goddess of the cycle of life and renewal, and now a regular mortal. I wanted to meet you in person, and thank you for freeing all these people, and me. I hate to think what would have happened to us without your intervention.
You were whispering to me all along.
Indeed. Suffice it to say that while Pluto was controlling the eyes and ears of each golden statue, I was able to control their tongues and whisper to you when he was distracted. I am sorry my messages were so cryptic. There were only ever brief windows in which I could speak to you without being detected.
There's no problem. There's no problem at all. It's weird you're talking to me, and yet I still feel like you're whispering to me. You did what you could. Thank you. So you created the time loop, basically.
I did. I may have given up my immortality, but I still retain my gifts as the goddess of the cycle of life and renewal. After witnessing Pluto punish countless poor souls over thousands of years, I knew this generation, the final wave, would not survive. So I tried to give them a way to buy more time. A second chance. Rather, as many second chances as they needed to avoid his wrath.
Yeah. What became of Pluto? That is kind of a good question, actually.
I don't know what happened to him. I haven't heard from him, and I rather hope it stays that way.
Yeah, I get it. He did to you what Sentius did to his daughter, only orders of magnitude worse. Yeah. And yet, the little side of me feels just a tiny bit sorry for him. I'm a sucker for a romantic story, that's why. What became of Karen?
Oh, she inherited dominion over the underworld. Last time we spoke, she was working on a new world of some kind. She wouldn't say what it was, but I'd be surprised if you don't run into her again. I imagine we all will.
Okay.
One day.
So she's making a new underworld for us. I do hope it's got a good internet connection. It was nice meeting you anyway.
And you. Although it feels like I've known you forever. Oh, and one last thing. Do you remember all those golden statues scattered throughout the city?
Please tell me. Yes, please tell me you...
Good. Because they remember you. Well done, my friend. Of all the heroes who ever journeyed to the underworld and returned, none came close to achieving what you did. Hercules, Orpheus, Theseus, and Aeneas would be proud.